are related to drinking coffee. What are the health benefits of taking coffee? What are some of the side effects of taking coffee? Because I must tell you that each time I wake up early in the morning, if I wake up at 7, at 8, I must have my cup of coffee. By me, I make it wise. Now, if I drink a cup of coffee now and it's done, I have my bottle of water right over there. So I can take as many cups that I want every day. Okay?
Don't.
So I used to love the way our barista used to present his cups.
Yeah.
For example, one day he presented some nice coffee. It was a cappuccino, very nice, presented. And I asked him, how do you make this? He said, you go to a school and study.
Yeah.
So I used to love the passion he had. So I said one day I should learn this. So I kept on serving his orders. But I found out that most of the orders were according to the way he was feeling. You know, baristas present their cups according to the way they are feeling, according to the mood. In case he left home when he's sad, he's not happy, you will see the results in the cup. But when you see something beautiful, just know he's so happy.
Yeah.
So the passion he had and the love he used to put in the cup really encouraged me to join the school. Not until I got to learn about Isaac at the Pre Plus.
Yeah.
Then I came with some of my friends, so we are now doing that course.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. My name is Awan Mukisa and we're still here on the Coffee Break Show with Michael Crash talking about coffee and health. Before we went to a break, Michael was telling me about the issue of working out in a gym and how it's okay for someone to drink coffee before they can go and work out. He never talked to us about whether it's okay to drink coffee after working out. Is that okay?
That's still okay.
That's still okay?
Yeah.
How about the issue of, many people here talk about this, only doctors, nurses, and specialists talk about it.
Which issue is that?
That's, if someone drinks coffee, like a guy, is going to be up there in bed. Is that true?
Okay. Now let me give a little bit of advice. It works, but it doesn't work.
Mike, hold on. Look through that camera over there and tell us.
It works. It works, but it doesn't work with sugar.
Okay, if you drink coffee with sugar,
yes,
it doesn't work.
It does never work.
Michael, Tony, aren't you giving us advice of taking coffee without sugar?
Take it without sugar, and you call me the next day. I will be in position to answer that query. You know.
Well, guys, you're watching House of Talent Television. This is the Coffee Break Show on House of Talent. My name is Amon Mukisa. I can remind you that, please, if you want to watch this show, go on your YouTube channel. That's House of Talent Television. You'll be able to catch this show right over. Don't forget to subscribe as you're watching these brilliant episodes. But also, you can follow us on Facebook. That's House of Talent Uganda on Facebook, and also Twitter. You can follow me up. You can follow us up on Twitter. That's HTV1. Okay. You can also follow me up as Amon Mukisa. All right, Michael. There are a lot of coffee mints over there. I'm going to read a few of them here, and you'll be able to tell us whether that's true or false.
Okay.
One is coffee. All coffee has the same amount of caffeine. Is that true or false?
That's not true, because there are factors that varies this from the brewing. From time of brewing, the equipment that you are using, all that has an effect on the caffeine, like bringing it out. You understand? So when you look at black coffee, it may not be having the same composition like in a cappuccino or a latte. You get. So I wouldn't say that's the same. Different coffees still. When you look at the two species that we have in Uganda, Robusta coffee tend to have higher caffeine than Arabica coffee. So still that's not the same.
That's not the same.
If I make coffee from Robusta and I make coffee from Arabica, we won't still perceive the same caffeine.
Okay. The other myth is coffee is highly addictive. Is it true?
No.
So I wouldn't wake up in the morning, each morning, and I'm like, I need a cup of coffee before I start my day.
I have been in a place. I love coffee. I've been in a place in the village where I was there for over a week. Okay? And I wasn't taking coffee. I didn't even take anything like coffee, but I was fine. Now, when we discuss anything related to addictiveness, is something that you can't really live without, you know. Now, let me give an example of cigarette, you know. The nicotine in it is very addictive. That when someone bees a day without taking this, you find them when they're shivering, when they are like, they really want to smoke, you know. But me, if you leave me, just even you, if you have to go to the village and we're just going there, we have nothing, we can live. So anything that is addictiveness for coffee, scientifically it is not proven.
Maybe the one last one, because there are a lot of mints out there, a lot of them. But one last one, and this is very funny for me. It says coffee stunts your growth. How true is that?
I think that's a myth. I don't agree, because we would be short.
But
really, we would be really very short. Some of us, you know. But I don't think that's true.
You're like saying those short people did take coffee maybe in the morning. I mean, at their early age, and that's why they're short.
That is genetical.
That's genetical, not related to coffee.
It is not related to coffee. How is coffee impacting my DNA anyway?
Man, it goes through my bloodstream.
Yeah, it goes through
everywhere.
Yes, but how is it really related to? I don't think that science is still.
It's not real.
For me, I say this is a myth.
Well, this is the Coffee Break Show for you. We debunk and tell you what is right and what is wrong. And you'll be able to only know that if you're watching the Coffee Break Show. Michael, you know, over the seas, I'm talking about the diaspora countries, UK, US, all those countries, Arab countries.
Yeah.
These guys take a lot of coffee.
A lot.
Too much coffee.
A lot.
And when you come down here to Uganda, we take, our domestic consumption of coffee is very, very low.
I think
compared to those countries.
I think our domestic consumption right now stands at around 6.5%.
Okay, so why don't we have a culture of taking coffee like those people, and those people don't complain so much about all the things we talked about the show.
Yeah.
But for us here, we're still complaining about it. Why don't we have that culture of drinking coffee the way it is?
I think it gets back to the culture, the background. I think where the old coffee originated. You know, back in the 18th century, when the Europeans had that World War II, then they had to enforce Africa to come and grow these cash crops for them to actually build their economy. You know, when that happened, our forefathers and mothers were really left with, I don't know, we are left like all these things are going the other side. Maybe because I have a feeling that they could have said that these things are used to make A, B, C, D, okay? They took them the other side. So up to now, we are still living in this myth of our foremothers saying, when I take coffee, girls don't take coffee, girls don't do this, girls don't do this. You can even look at in the old tradition whereby women were not allowed to eat like chicken. You cook it for your husband. See, so all these kind of myths are still trending, especially with low level of education. People are not exposed. When you ask a girl, any girl, like, let's go for a cup of coffee. Me, I don't take coffee. Like, why don't you take coffee? It's like, I just don't. Like, give me a reason. My mother told me. So even her mother told her, even her mother also, her grandmother told her. So the story keeps like that. There is nothing, you see. Because now when you look at the comparison on this guy is consuming very high coffee, okay? When you look at the diseases that these people are really suffering from, and then you look at the diseases we are really suffering from, you realize that really coffee is really a very good thing, you see. Here we are suffering with a lot of diabetes, a lot of cancer. Let's look at the white world. I don't think that is really too much.
Yeah.
Okay. But because of this kind of myth with for our parents and all that, but we are trying to spread the gospel. We are trying to. People are coming to learn as we are here.
That's the coffee break show here, right here, because we want to demystify such things that people are thinking.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the issue of like side effects of taking coffee. Like I said before earlier on in the show, that each and every element on earth has a good side and a bad side. So, what are some of the side effects of taking coffee?
Okay, we talked about 3 milligrams being like an average of 400 milligrams or 300 milligrams being like an average consumption per day. But then beyond that, it's actually too much. Coffee becomes toxic in the body. It reaches a point whereby some people don't sleep. Insomnia or restlessness, you know. Because the caffeine is too much, it is actively keeping you
awake.
That you're being kept awake. You understand? The body is not really used to that. You see, so I feel that causes insomnia. But if you don't take coffee, you get back to normal. But if insomnia comes in another version, then it becomes another disease. You don't blame it on coffee.
Don't blame it on coffee. Because I've read through a lot of researches, and they're like, for you to avoid this insomnia, you have to like make sure that you take coffee before the hour of 3. Like if you take coffee past the hour of 3, 4, 5, and you always sleep at around 8, that coffee is not going to be dissolved through your body bloodstream. It will be still there. That's why you still keep awake up to the hour of 10 or midnight. So if you want to solve this, make sure that you take coffee in the morning, earlier like at midnight, midday, so that it's used.
I think that's okay.
Yeah. So what's the other thing that if someone takes coffee is born to have?
I think the other thing is abortion. We earlier talked about it with pregnant mothers. Because this caffeine is very strong when it goes direct to the fetus. It actually sometimes kills the baby or causes a lot of issues within the umbilical cord and all that. Then some of the other things we could talk about could be children. I think children below the age of 7 should actually, because they're also highly sensitive to caffeine, they shouldn't actually also consume caffeine in very, very high numbers. Yeah, I think that is it.
Well, how about about taking coffee when you're going like to, yes, we talked about like working out, but when you take coffee, for example, when you're going to like a football match, how does it affect you?
Being a stimulant, as caffeine names it, it will just increase on the rate of everything, you know. It will actually increase on your performance. I think that is what you really need.
How about these ones who take coffee without eating anything? How badly does it affect them?
It causes drowsiness.
Drowsiness.
Yeah, because of the caffeine. Because remember, it is using a lot of energy. It is using a lot of energy to make you do a lot of things. Blood is moving at a very high pressure. Everything in the body is just hyped up. So when that happens, then the body will demand for more food, like real food, to be digested, for you to get the energy that is supposed to be converted to all this. Yeah. So I feel that is what normally happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does coffee also has an element of alcohol in it? Like, do those two mix?
Like mixing coffee and alcohol?
If you drink, for example, I have a cup of alcohol here, and I have a cup of coffee over there, and I'm drinking all of them at the same time.
Now we're having coffee cocktails. We mix coffee cocktails, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic cocktails, you know, with coffee and alcohol.
So they don't really matter whether you're doing them at the same time. They don't affect you in any way.
Maybe just like hyping you up, I don't know. Because the alcoholic content could be, depends on actually the brands of the alcohol you're using, you know. Yeah.
All right, Michael. Michael is here on the Coffee Break Show trying to give us all the details that are related to drinking coffee. What are the health benefits of taking coffee? What are some of the side effects of taking coffee? Because I must tell you that each time I wake up early in the morning, if I wake up at 7, at 8, I must have my cup of coffee. By me, I make it wise. Now, if I drink a cup of coffee now and it's done, I have my bottle of water right over there. So I can take as many cups that I want every day. Okay?
Don't exceed 500 milligrams.
Okay, as much as I want, I can say 5.
That's okay.
Yeah, 5, I can take those.
Yeah.
So if you're out there also and you want to drink coffee, you feel like coffee is your thing, please make sure that you have your cup of coffee right here and maybe your bottle of water over there. Okay? Michael,
yes,
what last words do you have to tell to our viewers over there? I think you can look through that camera over there and then you can be able to...
I think to our viewers, I tell you that coffee is medicine. Coffee is a drug. It's a healthy drug, right? So please consume it wisely. Don't consume more than 10 cups a day. It becomes toxic in the body. And also people who are new, start slowly. Along the way you'll gain and get the zeal to actually drinking coffee. Coffee is not addictive. None of anyone should actually lie to you that coffee is addictive. It is not addictive. It is just a drink we drink. Yeah, we love coffee. That's all I can say.
Thank you, Michael, for coming through on the Coffee Break Show. Make House of Talent your home each and every day you want to pass by.
Thank you
and give
so
us
much.
such good information.
I am so delighted. This coffee is amazing.
Thank you, Michael. Well, guys, you've been watching the Coffee Break Show on House of Talent Television. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. This video right here, if you've missed this stream on our live streaming, please go on our YouTube channel. You'll find it over there as House of Talent Uganda. I would like to shout out to some of the people who've been watching the show. Kim Roasters Coffee has been watching the show. Simon Peter has been watching the show, and many of you have been watching the show. But also Edo Killer has been on the show. Edo Killer promised to ask us a question. Michael, I had a question for you, but he has not posted it. I think he will DM you and he'll be able to ask you that question.
No problem.
But from me and my entire crew, that's Emma on camera today, Isma on the decks, I would like to say have a blessed weekend. Bye-bye.
It was like the Psalms. When you look at David, he's passing through hard things, but then he's willing to talk about them. So music allowed me to be real, authentic. To God, he uses song to minister to me. So it was more, it's personal, I can relate to it, and he's helping me overcome through that, to be able to be used as that vessel that delivers this message, which I know that I've just borrowed from heaven.
Cast down on my soul. Why don't you hold
My music statement is to write music that will be able to speak to the heart, soul, and spirit, restoring the goodness. You know, when in the Bible it says, and he looked at it and it was good. The message that I have, there are 10 songs. They will be specifically invoking that God has already said, that we have to embrace as his image, to restore goodness in this world. Music is not what defines you. For me, that was a great revelation, that my identity is more in God, in who God calls me. If I can inspire you also to use your gifts and talents to make a difference, I would have played my part in this world.
I will rise and rise. Now is the time. Rise and praise you, Lord.
Welcome to the Creative Industry Talk today. My name is Eddie Okila, and my guest on the program today is a lady who started a business amidst the lockdown of COVID-19 in 2020, I think, yes. And you know, when COVID came, everyone was shocked. No one was prepared. Everyone was home. Getting food stuff from the market to your house was a problem. Some people saw it as an opportunity, others were complaining. But this lady here started something very special, and today on the program we are looking at those who are creatively thinking to bring solutions to people in their homes or at their comfort in their home or in their house are the people we're looking for on the show. And the lady is no different today. Olivia Kasiri Ariho is one of those people who started the businesses in the lockdown, and of course convenient food delivery supply services is here for us in Kampala in Uganda. A business started during COVID-19, and the story is how creatively she was able to think about the competition between the border guy, my border man, to a real business that actually goes to the market and brings food. Olivia, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank
How
you
are you doing?
I am well, thank you.
And how have you been doing with the business?
The business is good.
Yeah.
It's growing steadily.
Okay.
We are learning new things. We are thinking beyond COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to start from a lighter note for those who are seeing you for the first time and would like to know you. You are live on our YouTube channel, on Twitter, on Facebook, and of course on Twitch. We have entered Twitch this week, and that's a huge platform, talking to over about 1.8 million Ugandans in diaspora who don't know, what happened at home, but are very interested in knowing what happened at home. And of course, they would want to know, who are you, what are the values that define you? If we're looking for you Ugandan, if yes, where do you come from?
I'm a Ugandan. I'm a mother of 4. I am married to a wonderful guy called Anthony. We've been married for the last almost 9 years. We have 4 kids. My passion for business is really God-centered, I should say. Yeah, we all have our different entrepreneurial journeys. Mine was from a place of trying to help my mom, and then I found my niche there. I found that it was easy for me to be self-employed than to be employed. Not that to be employed is a bad thing, but I just found it easier there to take the route of having very many bosses at the same time as opposed to having one boss.
Yes.
Yes.
So from the ancestry point of view, if somebody is looking for you and watching you for the first time from the US or from Europe or from Canada, and for the first time, which part of this country do you come from?
I'm from the east. I'm Msoga.
Okay.
Yes, I'm Msoga.
Are you a princess, by the way, from Busoga?
No, I'm not a princess, but I come from a long line of hardworking people. Very hardworking people.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I've heard that line being said. I come from a long line of, King David, and we're hardworking people. Yes.
Yes.
Well, if you're joining us from anywhere across the world, it's the Creative Industry Talk. We're going to be having a fantastic conversation with Olivia right here on the show, and you can follow it from home. You can send us your kisses, your comments, whatever you have, and we'll definitely be able to respond to it. Olivia, starting from that, you were employed before. What inspired you to leave your job? Why did you leave your job? You seemingly had a better job than many people out there would do. Yes.
I think I was employed because it was the convenient thing to do at the time, but it wasn't the most comfortable thing for me.
Yeah.
Yes, so I was employed, and then some people believed in me and they said we could do something better with you this side, and that's how I ended up having very many bosses. Yes, but I think entrepreneurship for all of us is different. For some of us, it's a passion. You're already thinking of the next thing that you can do, and so that was my idea of walking out of my job, of being employed by someone else, that I just wanted to do the things that I could do that I could otherwise not do when I'm employed.
Okay.
I didn't feel I would give my 100% at the employment if I was still doing the other things.
Okay.
Yes.
When you say the other thing, we want to look at creative ways of thinking of the other things you're talking about. Which sector were you employed, and why did you leave?
I was into the financial services.
Okay.
Yes, I was into the financial service, and I'm still in the financial services even as an entrepreneur. I'm into the financial services. So convenient is not my first business. Yes.
Okay.
Right now I run about 3 businesses, so convenience is just one of them.
Okay.
Yes.
We're definitely going to dive into convenience right now.
Yes.
COVID-19 came, it hit very hard, and so many people were literally at home. We didn't know what to do, and the impact of COVID-19 on many businesses was quite very eminent and seen. Some businesses closed down, some people found opportunities in the lockdown, and some were thinking creatively to come up with solutions that could fit the problems that were there at the time. And your business is not different from one of those that creatively came out of that.
Yes.
And we want to just hear from you a little bit more. If you could tell us about the story of how you came up with Convenient and the name. You've mentioned the word convenient 3 times in your statement, whenever you've spoken. And we want to know from you why the name, and what was the inspiration behind this, and how did you see the opportunity that others would not have seen?
So I'm a mother of 4. When COVID came, I was a mother of 3. So I have a COVID baby. But I was the customer. I was my own customer, if I'm to say that. I'm the perfect customer for convenient. That I'm a mother of 4 kids. I don't have a lot of time. Even if I went to the market, I would want things done quickly. If I am to send a border guy, he would not bring the things the way I wanted them. So I looked at myself and I'm like, I'm the perfect candidate. And then I looked and there were other people like me. There are many mothers out there like me that they don't have time. Probably they are running a business where they're employed 8 to 5. They just want us, not a structured, but a very proper way of doing things. That my groceries are bought and I have time to attend to other things. I don't have to go to the market. Then the second thing, because I run another financial services business, starting convenient was a way of diversifying the business during COVID-19. I needed to still make a return on investment. So I had to find an opportunity that would work within that period that we were in, that we are now in lockdown. You can't do certain things, but you can. People are eating. Yeah. People are eating. So I wouldn't start a restaurant, even though I'm a good cook. Yes. But I wouldn't start a restaurant. I just thought, what can I do that can continue to, but you're a perfect candidate. So that's how Convenient started. And then the name Convenient is just speaks for itself, that we deliver to your door. And what we deliver to your door is the sort of thing that you'll just pick from our box and stash it away. You don't have to clean it because we've cleaned it. We pick out the best, we clean it, and then show up at your door, clean, nice and fresh, and then you're good to go. Yeah.
I like the fact that you talked about diversifying the investment. COVID-19 hit, many businesses closed down, and you were there thinking a creative way of delivering, services to people, and also diversifying and making sure the investment you have continue to receive the return on investment. I want us to put that topic of our discussion up, and I want to just drive a question from where we are coming from. The creative adaptability of business during COVID-19 is what we're calling for. Independent creative people in the art business. You are, of course, in arts business, but financial sector, because finance is about thinking creatively for businesses.
Yes.
Finance is not about money. Yes. It's about what are the creative ways that we can provide people solutions that are money-based, that can enable service and delivery to get to people. And you came up with something totally very new, and you've explained the process, but I want to just know, what was going in your mind at that point? How did you even think about this? Yes, 1, you were the first customer to yourself.
Yes.
2, you looked at mothers who are out there who would be in the same spot like you and thought about them. 3, you were going to the market. How were you moving to the market when we were not moving at the time? But yet you continue to get things delivered. And yet you're also talking about you didn't want time to be wasted.
Yes.
What was the journey like? I mean, that is where we wanted to know the adaptability of the creative thinking that we're talking about. Yes.
So going to the market during lockdown, because we source the products ourselves, we do not call someone. Right now we've developed relationships where we can just call and they deliver particular things, but other things we have to be there ourselves. Yes. And I have to be there myself. I know I'll reach a level where I don't have to be, but for now, while you're teaching someone, you're supposed to be there. So during lockdown, I would even sometimes have to walk, like the times when I didn't have a sticker. You either walk or you ride a bicycle to the market and you source out the things, and then the border guy delivers. So when the guy delivers, then the person who is at the store has to clean them, and then the border guy will deliver. So I didn't have to carry anything. My only thing was to get myself to the market. Yes, get to the market and source the products. Yeah. Because we were new, it was important that I actually get to the market. Because you could sit back here and then someone delivers something totally different. Or the quality is poor, the quantities are low, and yet someone already made an order. Yeah. And that would mean that they either have to go back or wait for another day. And not every day are fresh things brought to the market. Yeah. So during lockdown, we had to adapt. You had to find yourself to the market. And then the guy would deliver the things.
So you were the first customer of your business.
Yes,
Who was the second customer to your business, and how did you find them?
The second customer? Yes. Funny you say, my second customer was your wife. Yes, I think because I sent you a package and then I think you shared with her, and she's been my customer up to today.
I don't know what happened. What I know is that there's always a package at home.
Yes.
How it gets home, I don't know.
Yes.
But we're in the lockdown, and going to the market was a bit of a trick.
Yes.
At some point, we were walking. And how did you think about us being your first customer? What motivated you to say, let me try these guys?
Your lives. You don't. I just figured you don't have the time. You don't have the time, and yet you like the finer things in life. So I figured, these are just the perfect candidates to be delivering stuff to. Like, they're the perfect candidate, but also you know what you want.
Yeah.
And over time, I've realized that most of my customers are people who know what they want. I have standing orders every week now. So there are people whose lists are the same. And there are people who tell you that that's how they manage their finances. Yeah. Because they know that every week, maybe this amount of money goes to groceries. Yeah. But it also helps in the administration at home that, stuff is not wasted, because stuff comes in once it's packed away. No time is wasted. Yeah, so we have a picture. We have a picture of our ideal customer.
So you basically profiled all of us before coming to us with your business idea.
Yes.
I want to hear the third customer and how you reached out to them and what you said to them, and of course subsequently how you were able to recruit the mothers. Did you look for people within your space to say these are mothers with children, 1 to 2 children who cannot go to the market, and how were you able to communicate the service to them? Most mothers like to go to the market themselves, and most people would prefer, or they have a border guy, they will call and say, go to the market, or they have somebody in the market they call, and they say, put for me this in, and then, send through, and the money goes. How were you able to break through that sort of like a situation that, like a pre-existing, services or relationship that are usually there for mothers who shop every single week for their households?
So we profile our ideal customer, like I said. So we profile our ideal customer, what they like, what they do, where do they spend their free time, who is doing what we want to do for them at that time. And then we found out that for us it was a border guy. Yes, like they have, you call someone, hey, I have this, they tell you, I have my border guy. So we had to beat the border guy and not take him out of the equation, because really they're the guys who do our end delivery, mail end delivery. So the idea was, give a service, have to add value. Where the border guy will bring the cassava and the Irish and everything thrown at you, our packages are different. You would think you got them from a supermarket. And that's what we aim to do, that when we get the products, we clean them. We sort out whatever is not good enough for you, and so we deliver to you something that you're going to put in your fridge and you don't have to worry. Well, if your border guy brought you stuff, it would be different. Or if you called, they would just give you stuff and then you'd have to go again. You've not really saved time. If you have, you saved a little. But for us, it's like we are creating time for you to do other things. Yeah.
Wow. Well, we're talking to Olivia right there, talking about the creative adaptability of businesses during COVID-19, and of course, independent business minds are able to come up with something totally new for us. Olivia, just before we take our first break, I want to go back to you, to the point of profiling. You have a background in finance.
Yes.
And usually people in finance don't profile their customers that much. That's sort of like a function or a knowledge or wisdom that are from the marketing people. I mean, where did you find that? How did you, or rather, how were you able to balance the two? Because finance is about giving me the money, I need return on investment, or you look at my idea that I brought in for you, if I'm looking for money from the bank, for example, and say this has this risk at this point, this has this risk at this point, we can give you money. If you're looking for a certain amount of money, we can't give you a certain amount of money because you may not be able to pay back because your business profile says this. But here you are profiling the customers at the same time thinking about, were you not afraid of risk? And how were you able to cross from finance to marketing at the same time and going back and finding a balance in between?
One of the things that I purposed is that I wasn't going to waste time not on someone, but on spreading the gospel of my service to everyone in the market. Because that I had limited resources. Because at the time it was only me and my house admin, who still works for me. So she has 2 jobs. She works at home and then she works at Convenient. So it was just the 2 of us. And so I thought to myself, I have to be very, very, very focused. I cannot spread, we can't spread ourselves too thin, giving a service. And now we are moving into that space because we are more. But at that time, we couldn't serve the bachelor, serve the young woman who lives alone with her friends, because their needs are different. Yeah. Even though they need our services, yes, but they need it a particular way. Yeah. And also at that time, the person I best understood was someone who was like me. So the profiling was really to help me use the resources I had at the time to focus and deliver an excellent service to the person I best understood at that time.
All right.
Yes.
We're going to take a break, Olivia, and then when we come back, we want to hear from Olivia what was the first investment amount to start the business and how did it work? From a finance point of view to, starting the business, how much did she put in? How much should we always put in our business when we're starting something new, particularly if you start a business during COVID-19? Stay right there. Creative Ministry Talk will be right back after the break.
(2022) relevance. You have to be relevant. When our industry closed in March 2020, it was actually a crash. It crashed down. We had a couple of bookings, very many bookings. Remember, as I told you, 2019 had been a very beautiful year, and it was carrying itself over into 2020. As soon as COVID came in, everything crashed. We lost all our entire bookings, all the bookings. We had nothing happening. Warehouses were locked. It was termed as a dead stock from that point then. Then when they opened us up partially in July 2022, we actually thought that it was going to be the same script as we'd been working on before COVID. But we later realized that, hey, actually, things have changed. The clients who were supposed to call us are not calling back anymore. They're not calling us anymore. So it was about shedding skin. We realized as Legacy Productions that we had to shed skin so as to be able to fit into the new way of doing things. Actually, our biggest fight, our biggest fear, as we're walking through the 3 months of lockdown into when they opened up, was the entertainment, the audiovisual industry not being relevant anymore. Because there was this term of millennials. Millennials are coming up with new ideas, the new normal, new way of doing things. You don't need to do any more conferencing with those big gadgets. You can do everything from your phone in the comfort of your home, so long as you have entertainment, so long as you have this small piece of equipment powered by internet. So, us getting back to be alive, we had to push things from the point of relevance. How relevant can we make ourselves as Legacy Productions to our clients? How our clientele being corporate, how are we supposed to come back and step back into their space with what we can talk to them that is music to their ears, as well as adding value to their brands and images?
Yes.
private sector is not yet fully utilized, because not everybody can be employed by government. And we are looking at a future whereby more people are employed in the private sector than in government. So I think if we all work hard, if we all work together and invest in the right areas, there's been a lot of talk about value addition in the agriculture sector, in the mineral sector. If there is enough investment in those areas, I think it can create enough jobs for our children and grandchildren.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to take you to question number 4, Andrew, which is, let's talk about your journey at City Hall and the foray into the Executive Director's office, which is as Andrew Chitaka,
Very
and as
interesting.
well as the Director Engineering.
Very interesting. I joined KCCA on 1st November 2011.
Yeah.
And before then, I was
for so much.
Yes.
CEO of, you know, whatever.
Yes.
They give so much.
This is the reason why you're actually on the bench.
Because of my credibility. Thank you so much. But now they attack you, they vilify you.
Yes.
And the goal
Yes.
is to weaken you financially.
Yes.
Is to weaken your owner.
Yes.
These are slanderers.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that someone would stay up at night
Yes.
to ask and learn about me.
Yeah.
And I pray that in the next 2 months, because I know many Ugandans who travel overseas, when they go there, one of the things, because the media has been so much, and Sam Kutesa, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, has really not done a good job. He has dropped the ball on this issue. Why? So many of us are being accused of being gay killers, including me. You've just heard that person. Uganda is being accused that we kill gays, which actually is absolutely untrue. And because of this, it has affected our tourism. It affects people who go overseas to do work or study. It affects whenever you go to a conference. Hi, my name is Eddie Okiela. Oh, where are you from? I'm from Uganda. Oh, you are the gay killers. And then you begin to describe. So one of the things that I've done is I've written a book, which should be coming out. I know that I keep saying the same thing, but the work of doing a book takes a long time, and I wish I could be supported. You know, many people who write on this subject, like Sylvia Tamale, she's supported by the Rockefeller Foundation, Carnegie Foundation. There is money.
Is a very big brand, and as we go on, we will probably discuss the things we're trying to do to see that things change for the better.
Good. Sean, on the CEO bench, for everyone who is following, we're live on our YouTube studio where we actually stream from. So YouTube studio, for everybody asking for a link, is actually House of Talent Uganda.
Confident in themselves and what they are offering. I think that's the biggest problem. Like, women will easily settle for a less pay than men would.
Okay. Mona Onyeto Deke goes on to say, I think this is a comment, says, I didn't know that beauty products are taxed at 60%. Whoa.
They are. I pray that changes soon, but they are.
Okay. So with that challenge of 60%,
setting up the company, you're doing tours all across the world. You know, a personal account is great, but how these things are taxed becomes important for you know, for your business later on. As soon as you cross that threshold of 50 million a year, you know, you're now in
the interest becomes more shares.
Yes.
You are watching the Creative Industry Talk, where we discussed everything about creativity, and we would like to actually make sure that everyone who thinks creatively is brought onto this program and to share their story with us and to share the story far wide with everyone out there about what they're doing and how they're doing it. Today on the show, we have a lady who started a business during COVID-19, a food delivery services during COVID-19. She would go to the market, buy food, and deliver it to people who are stuck at home. She started by walking to the market, riding a bicycle to the market, and now she's delivering using a boda. The story is that how much do you need to succeed in life when you're locked down? Like the situation we are in, or we were at when we are locked down in 2020. Did you start a business, or you were stuck? Did you lose your investment, or you were able to think about something? For Olivia, you were able to diversify your business from the financial services that you're running to looking for a way that you can continue to make money and don't close down. I mean, you could have eaten all the money, or your investors could have said, recall the investment back, let's move on because we're in lockdown. But you diversified. That said, Olivia, how much did you put in first to start the business?
200K.
200,000?
Yes.
How much is your business worth today?
My business is worth 15 million now.
From 200,000 Uganda
Yes.
shillings?
And that's because I've decided that I'm not growing too fast. If I was growing faster than that, it would be so much more.
Okay.
Yes. But that's because I've been, COVID taught us to really not overstretch your wings. You almost live every day as it comes. So you don't want to invest, because there's so many things I would have invested in right now, probably an app, a bigger space and stuff like that. But then you don't want to reach a point where you have dead stock, dead assets. So the growth has been deliberately slow, if I'm to put it that way.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been deliberately slow for a reason. That it was something I was doing for the first time. It was new. Like you said, I'm from the finance background, so most of the things I'm learning, and I thought I cannot learn with so many clients. The mistakes magnify. So you'd have, if you had 1,000 clients without knowing what to do, you'd have 1,000 mistakes. But if you have 50 clients and they're letting you, these are people who are letting you learn, and slowly, you perfect that slowly. By the time you get to 1,000 clients, you're probably making mistakes on just 100 or 50. So that was the idea.
Talking of that, Olivia, this is very fascinating for me. I just want to know something from you. Many of us look at 200,000 as too little money or amount to start anything. How do you even start a business? But we've had stories of women in the market starting a business with 70,000 or 50,000 to cook food, or 20,000, as low as 20,000, and they're serving, and somebody tells you it's successful. But some of us who go through universities and come out of universities look at that money as not good enough to start the business as a capital. But here you are telling us that you started with 200,000. Would you credit that to your financial background, disciplined, education, knowledge, or would you say it's instinct, or would you say it is practice, knowledge, and understanding what has been, you've been through before? I mean, where would you place that?
My financial background. As an entrepreneur, I have what I call my desired rate of return on every money that goes out. So you tell yourself that for every money that goes out, this is how much I want it to bring back to me. And if something doesn't bring me that much, then it shouldn't come back to me. And for me, I had a figure that a certain percentage, I must, on this 200,000, I must make this certain percentage. Because it meant that if I had 15 million and the same percentage applied, it would just be more money. You understand? So if you say 10% is my required rate of return, it means that it's the same on 20%, 20,000 is the same on 200,000 and stuff like that. So for me, that was my desire. It could be more, but as long as a business can bring me that required rate of return. And I think for every entrepreneur, it should be the same, that you have a figure. You have a figure below which you cannot invest. Yes. So for me, it was my financial background, really.
Start a business just like you, and perhaps does not know what to do or how to go about it? Because many of us out there are looking for businesses to start, are looking for something to do. And we don't think that the money we have is good enough, including me, myself. I mean, what would be the advice to me, and how would I start when I don't have the kind of background you have?
I think it's twofold. The first one is not to think of, yes, it's okay to have a big picture, but the big picture doesn't start today. I mean, I have a big picture for Convenient. It's bigger than Fresh Direct, if you know what Fresh Direct is. It's bigger. But I know that right now, where I am, I have to take it one step at a time. And that's how it makes it easy to start. That, you know, you don't think of the mountain. Yes, it's there, it's big, that's the big picture, but, you know, even it starts with a stroke of a pencil, the big picture. So start. And then, like I said, have your own understanding of the market first of all, so that you make informed decisions. I had an understanding of the market, of the business, of the industry that I was going into. So I knew that my required rate of return would be met and so much more within that industry. Now, some industries are that they are not like that. So you would never find me there. So understand the market you're getting into and start small. Start small. It's better to lose 200K than to lose 15 million for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Many of us don't get to that point and don't realize that point is very important. Talking of that, Olivia, there are people out there who are looking for opportunities to grow. COVID-19 came and hit them hard, and they are looking for some success stories or some motivation to move from point A to point B. Thinking creatively and adapting to a situation that is quite difficult and challenging is not something that everyone finds easily. For you, you were able to think about it properly. How far have you gone with Convenient right now, that we can learn from you the processes that you've gone through to get to where you are, and how many customers do you have at the moment serving with this 200,000?
So when we started Convenient, I started in my kitchen. So what would happen is that, you know, the border guy goes, he brings the things, I clean them in my kitchen, and then I do the deliveries. What hasn't changed for us is the way we deliver. We will not deliver your things in a Kavera like that. You know, I had to go where they make boxes from, get them, clean boxes, put everything. Now what has changed since then is that I'm no longer in my kitchen. So I have a space. I have a space where we receive the orders and the stock comes in, and then we call it like our order satisfaction center. So that's where the order is satisfied. Like you go through everything, you go through the order. I now employ 2 people. I mean, it was just me at the time in lockdown because my leave-out maid wasn't even coming, so it was just me. Now I employ 3 people actually now. So I employ 3 people with Convenient. We have a space, and that space is even a store because now we open it to other people. And then we also have clients every week. We have our number of clients that we know that these ones, even if they didn't send a message, we must deliver. And that's what we were hoping for, that we move to a point where we have what we call our best clients. That these are the people. Every week we just deliver to their home. So it's not a subscription model in a way, but we have our core clients. Then we have the people who come and go, who hear about us. Oh, I want to deliver to this person, I want to deliver to this person. Yeah.
Okay. So would you say that those who you say are core people, weekly core people, are based on loyalty? Because you say they are not subscription based.
Yes.
But also you're saying even if they don't make an order, you will go ahead and deliver.
Yes.
And they will pay.
Yes.
How did you get to that point of building trust from these people, and also, or rather gaining trust from them, and then you know, not placing an order and you instinctively knowing, even if I send the order, they need the order, I will send the order, they will pay?
Yes, that we have become part of their lives.
Yes.
Yes.
How did you get to that point? Because that's another point of learning. I mean, it's a very creative way of thinking, but we just want to learn from you. How did you get to that point? If you share.
It starts with the service that we are providing.
Yeah.
So you have to buy yourself into someone's schedule, because what we are providing is actually time. By bringing the groceries to your door, we are according you more time to do the things you can do. But we want that time to be quality time, in the sense that we don't want you to worry about what we are going to deliver to your door. So when I deliver something to your door, and this has happened over time, and it's not good enough, we've been so easy to say we will change it even at no cost. So it's been a two-way thing, that these are people who have allowed us to learn on the job. You know, they have allowed us to learn on the job. You make mistakes like, oh, you delivered something, probably you didn't actually understand what they say. Like, I want this watermelon, which is this color.
Yes.
And then you deliver something of a different color, like.
That sounds like what goes in my house.
Yes.
Because a certain watermelon is
yes,
not allowed
in your house. So you know, you have
yes.
You have to tell yourself that, you know what, this is someone who is willing to come every week and send their order through. And so you learn that we are buying ourselves into someone's schedule. That when someone thinks of us, they think of people that are part of their lives.
You know, when we think about this, Olivia, it looks like we're living in Europe. This is a life that some people would think it's a European kind of life, because in Africa, you know, service delivery and effective service delivery is not something that is part of our DNA. We are usually very proud when we're delivering the service, or we tell people off when things don't work, or we don't even make an effort to make sure something that we're trying to put in as a business works. Now, we have reached that point in life that there are actually those people in Uganda who can trust somebody to take care of that space and time, to buy them the time so they can do something else. That said, Olivia, how many of those customers do you have today?
We have 10. We have 10. And that may seem like a small number until when you look at their orders. Yeah, that's when you're like, oh, those are many.
So, so when you say 10, what is that? An average order is like how much?
An average order is like between 150 to 200,000. So if you have 10 of those every week,
If you're still working in the bank and you go to the bank to ask for a loan with that kind of number, would they give you a facility?
No, they wouldn't. But that's something my financial self would have a debate with you about. They wouldn't, and I say that without even mincing words, because it's how do I say this? It's our financial sector here is a bit. COVID has changed things in the way they are looking at things, but they are still very rigid. Yeah, they are still very rigid, and rightfully so. A salary loan would be better than to give someone like me
a loan to
start
a business. But your business is earning 150, 200,000 a week, and this is something to do with food which we need. So it's literally you have a guaranteed revenue.
Yes.
Whether we like it or not, some will have to eat food at some point. And this is a very creative way to adapt to hard situations like during COVID-19, and it's effective. Why would the bank not give the money? What do you think is our biggest problem when you say it's rigid? Can you break it down for us? Because I know some people out there are wondering, why would I even need the bank when I've already reached 10 customers who can give me 200,000 a week and I'm okay?
There's that too, yes, there's that too. Because I'm my own financial at this point, because I own a larger financial company, so convenience is like part of our portfolio.
Okay.
And so growing it is very important to me, because it means growth for the bigger business.
Yeah.
But I think the banks, financial inclusivity to them is defined a particular way.
Which is?
Which is now, like, for example, right now they look at businesses which are hit by COVID, so they are now focused on schools. And that's okay. Yes, because they also have, you have to believe that every business has an agenda right now. Yes, so they have investors who are, driving that agenda. So I don't want to blame our banking industry. It's just that it is what it is. Yes, Yes.
Yes. We're talking to Olivia. If you're watching the Creative Industry Talk from anywhere across the world, she started a business in the lockdown, the business of delivering food to people, making it very convenient for person to receive an order from home. If you're a busy person and you don't have no time to go to the bank, rather to go to the market to buy your groceries or to go to the supermarket, particularly the market where the food store, the food stuff is sold, she's able to go to the market and bring that food stuff to your doorstep, and your job is to put in the fridge. The question is, do you need that kind of service? Are you that one person who need that kind of service? Can you be part of Olivia's service? I mean, be part of the Olivia's service that she's providing as a customer? Or for you, you prefer to ride a bicycle and go to the market? We want to hear from you. Send us your kisses and disses. Before we go for a break, we're definitely going to read it. Olivia, we're going to take another break. But before we take that break, I have a question which has been burning. In fact, somebody sent a message. It says, Edio Killer, thank you very much. I live and work in Europe. What that lady has started is phenomenal for Uganda. I wish she was in Europe, because this is the kind of service people like in Europe. Nobody wants to walk around to the market to go and buy things, particularly if you are still trying to build your life and make it work. Now, I have a question for her. How is the business look like it is built around people who are very close to her? How is that business scalable? And when she's talking about the bigger picture of it.
Yes, for about the first 6 months, I feel like all my clients are people that I knew. I'm like, how am I going to do this? And then so when you talked about me profiling the customer, like, how did you get to that marketing? I feel like my marketing was still is. I'm still struggling. I've gotten myself into spaces where I am learning. I'm learning, like, post something every day on your socials. Do this, Now I have WhatsApp business. You send a link and someone can be able to view the catalog and order.
Yeah.
So there are those simple things that I'm doing. But more than that, because of the service that we are offering, it's very personal in a way. Like, people want their food in it. It's Matoke, yes, but people are, what can I say? Particular about how things are delivered and what. And then the thing is that we all have people who we call reference points for certain things.
Yes.
So my thing is that the people I have are my reference points now. That when I deliver service to Eddie, and someone trusts Eddie, Eddie has people that trust him. If he gave his word that you can get from that lady, it will work. So for me, my thing has been that I have to deliver excellently to Eddie. Yeah. And I'm hoping that Eddie will market. But at the same time, I'm learning. Yes. Yeah. So
the referrals are your biggest?
Yes, my referrals have been the biggest thing for me. Yes. So when someone comes to us more than 3 times, that one is a keeper.
Okay.
Yes.
And just as we go to a break, before we get to the break, there is a moment in Uganda.
Yes.
I will zero down to Uganda, Africa, but Uganda. We don't believe in excellent service delivery as a means to sustaining a business, because if I excellently deliver the service, what I hear from you, to somebody, that person is going to be satisfied. A satisfied customer will make a reference for me. Therefore, the cost of marketing is actually very much reduced on the business.
Yes.
Which makes the business successful at the beginning point of it.
Yes.
And even sustained and go past the growth stage, what we call the break-even point of business. We always say if the business is able to go for 6 months and then is able to cross to 1 year to 2 years, if you go 4 years down the road, we know you're going to succeed and you're built. Now in Africa, it's not the case, because normally we are more about money than the satisfaction of the service we're giving to people. You are here telling us that your business model is actually creatively thought around excellent service to people, more referrals to people. Yes. Olivia, is there anything that you could share with us why you got to that point and what has been your learning to that point so far? And do you think that it is a model that is sustainable going forward? Would you advise somebody to take that kind of model going forward if they are to start a business?
I'm a firm believer that everyone who's in business, or for all of us, there's a faith within us, whatever you subscribe to. Yes. So I'm a faith-based investor, if I'm to use that word. So what happens for me is that every time I start about a business, I don't think of that business as an income stream. And most people think, oh, you're just saying that. But the thing is, you cannot start with the money. Because every time you think about the money, you're going to offer a shitty service, for lack of a better word, because you're thinking of how much you can milk from a client. Yeah. So you have to think of yourself as a customer. If you were receiving that service, how would you want it to look like? How would you want it presented at your door? Would you want me to come with Veras, running around with that sweaty guy just delivering them, or would you want them packaged properly and stuff like that? And that's what I wanted. So for me, the thing was, what is my value system? I'm a Christian. And I believe that beyond the business, God will provide for me. He does. He can provide for me through that business, but he can provide for me 1,000 other ways, and I can't even think of 2. You understand? Yeah. Yeah. So for me, it was that God still can provide for me. And because he can provide for me, if he has given me this idea, then I'm going to execute the idea. And I have to think of ways of executing this idea excellently. And the money follows excellence. I think the money follows excellence. I've had a few issues where, someone wants, you've ever met clients who want to change your business model. Yeah. Like, but me, I want my thing that way. But you see, this is just one client out of your 50 clients that month, and they want to change it. Like, but that's not how I do it. Yeah. You'll find someone else to do what you do. Like, for me, just get them from the market and deliver. No, I am not a courier service only, because we are now into the supply chain. But we are more than that, and this is how we do what we do. Yeah, so for me, it's been a thing of, first of all, the business is not my income stream. Yeah. I had to learn that the hard way, that the business is, God can provide for you without that business. Yeah. And then you have to ask yourself, why would God give me this idea? Why wouldn't he give it to someone else? Some people will say, oh, you read books and you get ideas. Or, the thing is, the fact that it is you who saw the idea, you have to believe that it came from somewhere, that someone just thought, Ed is the only one who can execute this. Yeah. Yes. So for me, that's the model for me, that business is really stewardship of ideas from God, and it's not about the income. The income comes later. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you've heard it from Olivia right there. What I have learned from Olivia today is that excellent attract business and sustained good income. Are you providing excellent service? We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Creative Industry Talk will talk to Olivia about the learnings and the challenges and what are future plans to make this actually much more viable and to become a bigger brand. We've already heard from her that this is part of a business that she started, part of a bigger business that she's running, but she wants to grow this and make it bigger as part of a revenue stream. We'll be right back after this break. This is the Creative Industry Talk.
Private sector is not yet fully utilized, because not everybody can be employed by government. And we are looking at a future whereby more people are employed in the private sector than in government. So I think if we all work hard, if we all work together and invest in the right areas, There's been a lot of talk about value addition in the agriculture sector, in the mineral sector. If there is enough investment in those areas, I think it can create enough jobs for our children and grandchildren.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to take you to question number 4, Andrew, which is, let's talk about your journey at City Hall and the foray into the Executive Director's office, which is as Andrew Chitaka,
Very
and
interesting.
as well as the Director Engineering.
Very interesting. I joined KCCA on 1st November 2011.
Yeah.
And before then, I was
for so much.
Yes.
CEO of whatever.
Yes.
They give so much.
This is the reason why you're actually on the bench.
Because of my credibility. Thank you so much. But now they attack you, they vilify you.
Yes.
And the goal
Yes.
is to weaken you financially.
Yes.
Is to weaken your owner.
Yes.
These are slanderers.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that someone would stay up at night
Yes.
to ask and learn about me.
Yeah.
And I pray that in the next 2 months, because I know many Ugandans who travel overseas, when they go there, one of the things, because the media has been so much, and Sam Kutesa, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, has really not done a good job. He has dropped the ball on this issue. Why? So many of us are being accused of being gay killers, including me. You've just heard that person. Uganda is being accused that we kill gays, which actually is absolutely untrue. And because of this, it has affected our tourism. It affects people who go overseas to do work or study. It affects whenever you go to a conference. Hi, my name is Eddie Okello. Oh, where are you from? I'm from Uganda. Oh, you are the gay killers. And then you begin to describe. So one of the things that I've done is I've written a book, which should be coming out. I know that I keep saying the same thing, but the work of doing a book takes a long time, and I wish I could be supported. You know, many people who write on this subject, like Sylvia Tamale, she's supported by the Rockefeller Foundation, Carnegie Foundation. There is money.
Is a very big brand, and as we go on, we will probably discuss the things we're trying to do to see that things change for the better.
Good. Sean, on the CEO bench, for everyone who is following, we're live on our YouTube studio where we actually stream from. So YouTube studio, for everybody asking for a link, is actually House of Talent Uganda.
Confident in themselves and what they are offering. I think that's the biggest problem. Like, women will easily settle for a less pay than men would.
Okay. Mona Onyeitodeke goes on to say, I think this is a comment, says, I didn't know that beauty products are taxed at 60%. Whoa.
They are. I pray that changes soon, but they are.
Okay. So with that challenge of 60%,
setting up the company, you're doing tours all across the world. You know, a personal account is great, but how these things are taxed becomes important for your business later on. As soon as you cross that threshold of 50 million a year, you know, you're now in
the interest become more shares.
Yes.
I want you to share something that is very fundamental. Having gone through all of these things, when was the first time you first held your first cash hanging out of the music, you and and Abraham's, and how did it work for you guys? How were you feeling when you first handed it and you say, yeah, this is coming out of music? Did you buy something for your parents? How did you
first, before I get into that, I'm happy that we are discussing this.
Yes.
Because then there were no talk shows like this.
Yeah.
You know, most of the artists of that era, not just musicians, but even DJs.
Yes.
You had to learn by seeing someone do it.
Yes.
You know, because people didn't know how to teach.
Yes.
I mean, you can't teach what you don't know.
No, yeah.
So you find that for the DJs, you had to first lift wires and cables, and you see how it's done. But now you're pressing buttons, you don't know even what they call them. But because you know, if I do this, it makes that. But if they bring you someone to teach them, you cannot. Because teaching is a skill.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing for music. That we have a generation that can teach music.
Yeah.
You know.
Can share their experience, which they didn't.
Yes.
Were not given
Then there were very few. Even just hearing of a work. Yes, we had professional musicians like Afrigos and the like, but workshops were. I think I had never had a workshop from in that era, like someone holding a workshop for musicians to teach them how to write, teach them how to conduct themselves,
to brand,
teach them about leadership, personal development, interpersonal skills and stuff like that.
Yes, yes.
That was unheard of, you know. So but right now there are, you know, platforms that someone puts a platform just for that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a very good thing that we are discussing this, because it was unheard of then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it shows how the sector has.
You're watching the Creative Industry Talk. My name is Eddie Okila, and welcome back from that break. In the studio we have Olivia Kasiri Ariho, the founder of Convenient Food Delivery Services. Olivia, welcome back to the show. I've been looking at some of your messages here coming from the messenger. We want it on the timeline. Please share it on the timeline and we'll definitely be able to read it. I've got a couple of questions here, Olivia. As we went for the break, we're discussing about how to sustain the process. We want to know from you, from the process of you started the business, adaptability of creativity in the lockdown as an independent creative mind, as an independent thinker. And to everyone out there, it is not true that only the people who are in design and communication and marketing are creative people. No. People in finance are independent creative minds. They're in the art space to think for businesses creatively and to make sure that money does what it's supposed to do for us, for business to be successful. And that's what we're learning from Olivia today, the story of Convenient. And you too can also be part of this and can also start yours and come here and share. Olivia, a very interesting point there. Were there challenges that you have been through in running this business?
Yes.
Please share with us.
Because we deal with a value chain, we receive products at a particular point. So we are not farmers. Though that's the big picture, that we have our own farms. Yeah, we are not farmers. So that means that the product we receive sometimes is not up to par. And also because this is agriculture, the nature of the seasons. So their price changes. So you find where tomato is costing this, and then you have to tell your client that no, it's not the tomato season. The tomatoes on the market right now are very expensive. And you have to tell the client. So it's those challenges and eventually reporting back to your final consumer that there's been price changes. And so we've learned to sort of hedge ourselves to know that we keep our price points to the final consumer in a way that they don't feel anything. That even when the price in the market changes, they don't feel anything. Yes.
Wow. And so how do you communicate the challenge of the changing the price to a customer? Because customers are very price sensitive.
Yes, they are.
Particularly on the home products
yes.
or household products, food stuff.
Yes.
If it's going to push onions, you're telling me the onions I used to buy 3 onions at, let's say, 500 shillings is now being sold 3 onions at 1,000 shillings. How do you
Yes.
communicate to them? And in the lockdown, prices went up.
Yeah, prices went up.
Yeah.
In the lockdown, this business taught me that even though we call ourselves an agriculture country,
Yeah.
that you know, I was quite surprised that and I'm always shocked for particular products. I say, hey, the carrots come from Kenya, and you're shocked because there's some carrots from Kabale.
Yeah.
But then
we've all been told that carrots are from Kabale. Kabale is the food chain for.
Yes, but then
Kabale.
you find out that there are seasons when there are no carrots from Kabale or onions from Kabale, and they are coming from either TZ or from Kenya, and so the prices. So in the beginning, it would be that I would have to tell my client that today the onions are this, and then I was like, I can't do this. You know, now I'm thinking, I don't think about my 50 clients a month. I think of 1,000 clients when I am serving them. So in my communication to them, it's like, how am I going to do this? So WhatsApp business, we have what you would call our catalog and stuff. So the prices on there, they take into account everything. They take into account the price changes in the actual market and the seasonal changes and everything, availability. So what the final consumer sees is really something which is not very price sensitive. So by the time someone sends you an order, they already know how much they are paying for what.
Okay.
Yes.
So at least you did not, I mean, if you didn't have a financial background, how would it have been for you?
I think it would. I would have paid more school fees. To put it lightly.
Just to go back to school
yes.
and land. Yes,
you know, as in the school fees that we pay in business, where you make so many mistakes.
Yes.
I mean, I've made mistakes and I've had to pay. You know, a whole order is botched and that's potea. You know, you've invested, but I think if I didn't have a financial background, I would have paid more.
Okay.
I would have paid more. Yes, that's what I really think that I would have paid more school fees to learn in the business because I didn't have any background in this. So I was learning on the job. So I had to pay some money for learning.
Okay.
Yes.
Next question, Olivia. Who are your competitors?
The border guy.
Do you have competitors? How
Yes.
do you compete with the border guy?
The border guy. I mean,
I've never heard of a story where border guy is a
I've seen a
competitor.
few other people in the market who are doing what I do,
Okay.
but they're not doing it the way I do it.
Okay.
So you can either call that competition or something else because the models are different.
Okay.
The models are different, and I think for me, we are doing the same thing, but we are not selling the same thing. I'm selling time. That's the way I look at it. That I am selling time. That even right now, if I am thinking of the way I package the service to a bachelor, I have to think of how a bachelor would want it. Probably doesn't want to chop carrots.
Yeah.
So how am I going to deliver the carrots to him in a way that he just, you understand?
Yes.
Yes. So we're in the same business, yes, we're in the same industry, but we are not selling the same thing. For me, that's how I look at it.
Okay. You said that you made mention that borders are your biggest competitors. Can you
They're not the
expound on that?
biggest, but there are some. I mean, for a long time, most people, because like we said, people didn't want to go to the market, and there are still people who don't want to go to the market, but we are a fresh food place and country, and people buy food stuffs and stuff. So they have their trusted border guy who will go and buy. I mean, there even people have convinced that, no, just taste and see. I'm like, but how am I going to chase my border guy of 6 years? Eh?
Yes.
Because this guy is also, so there's a competition of the border guy. And that one, we are getting our way around it.
Okay. So you have one border delivery person.
Yes.
That you've worked with for 6 years.
For not 6 years, sorry. Since the inception of the business.
Since the inception of the business, COVID-19.
Yes.
Okay, so, and this border guy has been loyal to you. Has there been an incident where the delivery person in this border man, okay, did not deliver the items in time to the customer, or he picked another customer along the way because he wants to make an extra buck along the way, and then the delivery is delayed? Has there been an incident like, and if yes, how did you deal with it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, because my border guy also works for another, he has his other time for doing work, but then he knows that there's a particular time when he's only doing my work.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's such that, you know, we have It's a thought of investing in him to understand the value of my business, and how I want things delivered a particular way, that you know, you buy a box and you put the other boxes inside. The reason I don't have so many border guys or different border guys is the fact that you're delivering something sensitive.
Yeah.
You don't want your food handled by 10 different people before it gets to you. Yeah. So that's why I've used the same guy.
Okay.
Yes.
So seemingly there has been a very good relationship between you and the delivery person.
Yes.
Which is built on mutual trust.
Yes.
But also it is a guaranteed revenue for that borderman that
Exactly.
today, even if I don't make money from these other sources,
Yes.
I know every Friday at this time I will have money, I'll have made money
Exactly.
to go home. What a good learning for many people out there, that when you start a business, you need to have somebody who is loyal to you, and trust is built based on that.
Yes.
And then revenue is sustained. Olivia, lastly, what would be your, or rather, what's your big picture plan for Convenient?
My big
Going
picture
to-
plan
yes,
for
yes,
Convenient.
Yes. Right now you have 10 customers?
Yes. By the end
Consistent
of
10
this
customers,
year,
but
I'll
you have more customers. But
yes.
these are just 10 that you know,
Every
whether
week.
they're whatever, I just send yes.
Yes, every week. Every week you have these consistent people. But my big picture for end of this year is to have 50 consistent people. And the reason is basically resource-based, that you look at the resources you have and the service you're offering, because it's also a thing of, you just don't bring in anyone, you have to train them.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to think that you're delivering food. How hard could it be?
Just buy your body.
Just buy and stuff. But it's the sort of thing where you have to put it in someone's mind that we're actually not just providing food. You have to present this box and someone looks at it and they are satisfied without a doubt, that they look at it and they are satisfied. So that is taught. I have learned over time that it is taught, that someone has to appreciate value. Someone has to appreciate that tomato, if it has a black thing, you don't put it there. That's not meant to be in that box. Yeah. So our plan is to grow to 50 customers, but more than that, our plan is we are now out of just the fresh food stuff.
Yeah.
So some of our clients now, those ones who deliver, who work with us every week, they ask for more than just the fresh veggies and stuff. Yeah. So in a way, we are now on an online shop. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And there are revenues there
Okay.
for us from the investment point of view, that you have a product range which gives you different margins, and it's good. It's good. So we are moving into that. We plan to have a very big space. Now our space is not big. We can only accommodate so many things at a time. So our plan is to have a bigger space, even increase on our catchment area.
Okay. Before we take a break, before we go into the question and answers, I just want to, ask you to take us through the process of how the product is packaged. And we're going to put some pictures up on the screen there for people to actually look at them. So let's have these pictures up on the screen, and so you can see. Is that what you're saying, how the product leaves your store?
Yes, that's how the product leaves our store. So what happens is that when we get the product from the market, we clean it. We clean it. So
that's a clean product.
Yeah,
now.
that's a clean product. You clean it and you wrap it in a way that whatever happens to it, dust doesn't get to it, so you don't worry about dusty Kampala. And then that box is covered. If you scroll through to the rest of the pictures, the box is covered like that.
Wow.
So when the delivery guy or my border guy shows up at your door, he's going to show up with that box when everything is inside, and your name is in the right hand corner to show that it is.
So didn't that cost you a little bit of money too? So what's in there? So in the brown envelope is something that is more.
Yes. Now that particular delivery was going to my home, so that one I don't usually put in a box, because I'm going to put it in my car and go.
Okay.
So I never deliver an open box like that to clients.
Anyone, yes.
Yeah, I never deliver, but for myself, it can go. Yeah.
All right, well, so we have it right there. I'm keeping that picture up on the screen. If you think you like Olivia's service, please, you know, send them a message right there and send your list to them. Be part of the 50 customers she's looking for this year. Yes. We're just in the first month or the second month of the year. And you can also join and test the product. I can tell you, my household doesn't suffer from, you know, buying. I don't know what happened. What I know is there's food at home. And nobody's running to go to the market, you know, on a Friday and stuff like that. Usually a difficult, you know, spot for people to go through. Now, what is that one advice that you would want to give somebody after this question? You think about it. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions that have come from people who have been watching the show. Thank you very much. All of you guys are watching the show from everywhere across the world. I have a gentleman say, my name is Anthony. I'm a Ugandan. I live and work in the US. I'm so happy to even see that in Uganda, in Kampala, people are beginning to think about creative ways to actually make business. Kudos to that sister of mine. I'm a Musoga man from Kamuli, you know, and she's saying, Basogas are always very brainy. That's what she's saying.
Yes, we are.
Basogas are born creative thinkers. Well, thank you very much, Anthony. And he has the question, says, can you ask my sister, is this business model sustainable?
Yes, it is. And this is why. The product we are offering is not one of those things that you have to think. No, we're offering food. Yes. And Ugandans are farmers. And our scalability depends on the people, the process, and the product. Yeah. Now, the people includes us, but also it includes our suppliers. Yeah. And our thing is now to go to the farmer. Okay. Yes. Going to the farmer when you have 50 people is not, what's the word? In the financial sense of it, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. But going to the farmer when you have 1,000 or even 100 clients, it makes sense, because then the farmer knows that if I put an acre of eggplants, there's someone who's going to buy them every month. Okay. They can even water them and stuff, because they are assured of a market, as opposed to me coming and buying for 100K today, then next time I buy. So it's different. Okay. Yeah, so it's scalable because the people, the process, and the product are things that can easily be sourced here. Okay. And we don't have to think of it so much. Wow. Yeah.
I have another one from Agatha. Agatha lives and works in the US. She's Ugandan, and she said, Eddie Killer, thank you very much for bringing that lady. This has really made my evening to actually see that some good stuff are happening home. Normally when you hear of Uganda, you don't see, you know, whether we're going forward or moving backward. But thanks to my sister there. My question to Olivia is, food security and safety. How safe is my food basket from our house to from our stores to my house? Wouldn't, what if somebody talks to that border and if they don't like me, isn't there a possibility, basically she's saying, is there a possibility of somebody corrupting the border guy and putting poison in the food? Yes. That's what she's asking. How safe is it?
I think that's very important, and that's something that for us we began to think about, because and that's why I was telling you that there's a difference between me and the border guy. Yes. That now we have people who think about that food security. Yeah. One of the ways for us, the first thing is that we use one person. Okay. So that's traceability in a way, that we've used one person. Yeah. You don't use very many people at any point that now there's this one. By the time the thing leaves our store, the box, it's one person who is going to handle your box. It's either me or the border guy. Okay. And me, when I deliver in my car. Okay. So it's easy. That's the first thing. And then the way we package it, we will never show up at your door and your bins are running all over. Yes. So you can tell when your food has been tampered with. Okay. But also we are looking at ways to make that box sealable. Okay. That once we seal it at our store, you're the only person who can unlock it. Okay. Yes.
And the next question, I'm going to just sample a few of them. I have this one coming straight from Bugolobi. Thank you very much, Olivia, for making the service, available. And I think I love what you're talking about. If I live in Bugolobi, where is your store and how can I have your product delivered to me? Because I've tried to get people to deliver stuff to us, those who talk about it. The cost of delivery itself is usually higher than the cost of buying the food stuff.
So when we started, we had what we call a catchment area. I mean, you can't serve the whole of Kampala.
Yes.
And then also because, so we are moving. Yeah, and actually this month we are moving to the other side of Kampala because we've been in what you call North Kampala.
Okay.
Ntinda, Chalwa, Jala, Namgongo, Chisasi, Nalia, Chiwatule, those areas. That's where I've been, Bukoto and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's been because you're using one person, and that's why it goes back to resources.
Yeah.
That with every step, then you need more resources. But it's just after understanding this particular one that which lessons have we learned, and then you move on to the next. So we will be moving to Bugolobi this month.
Okay.
Yes.
Edio Killer, thank you very much for bringing a lady to the show. And my question to Olivia is, how is she going to deal with the cost of delivery between the Nakawa market, if I need something from Nakawa market, Nakasero, to me who live in Buziga?
First of all,
I think the biggest problem people are saying here is that sometimes the cost of delivering the food to them is higher than the cost of the purchase of the food.
Yes. So what we do, we have what we call our starter pack. So our starter pack is the basics, what you would call the staples in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So it's 25K. And on top of that, that's when we put the delivery fee.
Okay.
That's when it makes sense both to you and to us. Okay. Economic sense.
Okay.
And then also, we don't get things from the market to you. We get things from our store to you.
So from the market it goes to the delivery store?
Yes, to the store. Because we will also find out that these markets, they have the same things, but some things are not found in other markets.
Okay.
So you could find that if you want great lettuce, you'll find it in Nakasero. So I cannot run to Nakasero every single time a client is calling, I want lettuce. No, we go to Nakasero once, we deliver the lettuce to our store, and then we dispatch it to the different clients.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Olivia, first of all, for coming to the show. Your parting shot, if you look into that camera and actually, tell us what are the 3 things that you want to leave us with, from the point of adaptability, creative adaptability of businesses during COVID-19 or during hard time or hard situation like yours that came up in the lockdown of COVID-19. What lessons do we have from there? What advice do you have for somebody who's watching the show?
My advice, don't rush to scale too fast. Don't rush to scale too fast. Understand what you're in, understand your industry, understand what you offer to the market, because even in your industry you have competition, but there's something that you offer to the market that your competition probably does not. So understand, don't scale too fast, scale with knowledge and understanding, because when you scale just for the sake of it, to want to appear big, we are now in the whole of Kampala, you'll find out that your margins are actually cut. So scale with knowledge and understanding.
Okay, and thank you very much, Olivia, for coming. I want to just take you down to show you what we have been talking about here, and I'll just bring it down to a close with Olivia. We've been talking about the creative adaptability of businesses during COVID-19 by independent creative, arts or minds in the creative arts, and of course in food supply chain in Uganda. That's what Olivia has been giving us. That's the service Olivia has been giving us. She started a business with 200,000. Now the business is worth 15 million shillings in less than 1 year. Isn't that amazing? And I see another comment coming here. Unfortunately, we have to go and let Olivia go. Like they say, every good thing must come to an end. And I think we've come to an end. Olivia, Pastor Joshua Mugabe says every time we come here, we have to spread love. So you have to do this, and spread love to people. To people who are in COVID-19. And to everyone out there, we want to say thank you very much for being part of the show. To Olivia, thank you very much for coming. And until next week, Creative Industry Talk has come to an end. Edio Killer, Olivia, signing out. Make sure that convenient is your delivery food supply. Let's put that number up again for you to be able to pick and place your order.
Biseera byetwalina nongolera ekyokulya nondeetera kuva lwe wagenda omutima gukunoonya mu buli mbeera n'endowooza oba osanga zeyakugoba mutima gukunoonya mu buli mbeera n'endowooza oba osanga zeyakugoba lwali lumu lwe wagenda tewasiibula nange saamanya nalabiraawo kakaseera ayiseewo nga sikulabako
conquering lion. Liveth here. For the way I walk, the giant not lead my way. See, I know you've been searching your entire life, you've been wanting a love that's so real, love that's so true. We'll search no more, 'cause once you found Christ, everything's nice, nice. Christ's love is so pure. Once you found Christ, everything's nice, nice. Christ's love is so true, so true. Oh, it's deeper than the sea, goes farther than only eyes can see. Indeed, a mystery, but it's from His Majesty. It's true. Once you found Christ, everything's nice, nice. Christ's love is so pure. Once you found Christ, everything's nice, nice. Christ's love is so true, so true. Oh, no greater love than this, than that a man will lay his life for we. It beats my understanding. Oh, what a joy it brings to my heart. Your love is kind. Once you seek, you find. Faithful to love, mystical and divine. Unconditional, yet provisional. Your love so royal, yes. Once you found Christ, everything's nice, nice. Christ's love is so pure. Once you found Christ, everything's nice, nice. Christ's love is so true, so true. Oh, see, I know you've been searching your entire life, you've been wanting a love that's so real, love that's so true. We'll search no more, 'cause once you found Christ, everything's nice, nice. Christ's love is so pure. Once you found Christ, everything's nice, nice. Christ's love is so true, so true. Oh.
Good afternoon. My name is Felix Eopal and it is Slam Dunk Basketball Talk, the show where we discuss everything about basketball, what is happening, what is not happening, what we predict is going to happen. And this afternoon, we have graced with the appearance of Frederick Freedom Warrior. Thank you so much, sir, for gracing Slam Dunk Basketball Talk with your time.
Thank you, Felix, for inviting me to the show. Honored to be here. I think it's been a while.
Definitely, it has been quite a while, and as proprietor of JKL Basketball Organization, there's a lot of talk since the season is about to begin. So let's start with what preparations does JKL have ahead of the start of the season? Because definitely so many viewers out there want to know what to expect from JKL.
I can say that we actually held trials last weekend.
You had trials last weekend?
Yes, we held trials last weekend.
Okay. Tell me about, tell us about that.
At our JKL Arena.
Okay.
In Mukono, Namaiba. So it was good. We're happy with the turnout. Some players came as far as Mbale, Soroti. Okay. The couple of players from Kampala that came. And we even had a friendly.
You had a friendly. Which team did you have a friendly with?
With Bugema University.
Bugema University. How did that go?
It was a friendly game. You know, you can't come and beat us at home ground.
Most people don't know about the JKL Arena. Please enlighten our viewers out there. We are live on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, and on our website, House of Talent Uganda, UG.
Our JKL Arena is in Mukono. It is on Katosi Road, a place called Namaiba. So as you reach the trading center of Namaiba, on your left hand, you'll see the signpost of JKL, Dolphin Sports Arena. So we have there the basketball court, we have accommodation, okay?
Basketball court, accommodation.
We have a bar.
Oh, there's even a bar.
Yes, so you can take some drinks. We have gardens, so you can chill. We have a kitchen.
This investment, how much did it cost the JKL organization, and how were the funds able to be collected? Because that's something that the viewers out there would love to know, and because I believe various teams would also want to have such a place.
I think the arena, we are in phase 1, okay? We are just on phase 1 of the project. You know, we are running a program.
Okay.
And I think now we are in year 7 of the program, but 2 years have been eaten away by COVID. So we are like 2 years behind. So we've invested, we started the program around 2013.
2013.
Okay? That is when before we started the team.
Because I believe when you look at the records, JKL was not yet in existence in FUBA records by 2013.
We already had a plan. Actually, in 2012, we had a plan to buy Res Life when they were in Division 1. In NBL, actually, NBL. The year they were in NBL, I think that's 2012. We held discussion between myself and my partner, Emmanuel Angwela. So, with Hudson, okay? But
the current general secretary.
Yes, so we didn't just agree on the price, because I think that time they were struggling and we wanted to inject money. But the idea was to buy and then add more players, and then we set up the team. However, after we didn't come to an agreement, we said, okay, what do we do? Let's plan and set up a team in lower division and grow it. However, as a program, we started planning long term, and our program is way different from, I think, other teams.
How different is it from other teams when you say different?
What we are looking at is in a scenario whereby we have players, after playing for JKL, they should be able to have continuous income. Okay, they should be earning when they retire. They should
so what you're saying is that the program is to try and ensure that when the player stops playing basketball, at least they have a job Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they should have something to do. Either they are working within the organization, they are coaching, okay? Or they can set up their own work. Because if you look at what we do, especially with the academies, we have a session when we are training the kids. We have a session for life skill. Okay.
Oh.
So for life skills, so we ask them what they want to be in future. Okay. What their plans are. We talk to them.
You develop them so that they can be self-sufficient.
Yes.
That is actually that is very brilliant stuff for Ugandan basketball and for so many athletes, not just for the game of basketball. I wish JKL could also expand that and put it to a bigger platform.
What we're doing, like I told you, we are in phase 1. We are going to have 3 phases. Okay. So we are finishing the first phase, and part of the first phase was to set up the academy, start the team, set them rolling, okay, and have the team self-sustaining, okay, so that if freedom is not there, or any other directors who are funding the team are not there, or if the sponsor is not there, the club is able to what? To survive.
The club can still go on.
Yes.
Yeah. One of the key things, the season is soon starting and everyone is eager to know which players has JKL signed on.
Which one do I start with? We have 2 teams.
The senior team.
We have both. We have the ladies, we have the men.
The men's team.
I think the men's team, got done before even end of 2021. We had discussion with the potential targets for 2022. We've already talked. Okay.
And how far those discussions?
No, they're already on board for 2022.
They're already on board.
Like I told you, we already sold to them the plan for 2022. The plan for 2022 is after COVID. We are doing a cut. Okay?
Oh, so what you're saying is ahead of the 2022 season, you're going to have some players cut off the team.
No, we are cutting the costs. Or operational costs.
Operational costs.
Okay.
And how are you doing that exactly?
We are cutting operational costs. Yeah. Let's just assume you're earning $1,000. Okay. We met with some of the players and told them, okay, this is COVID time, so we are realigning with the company overall objective of the club. So if you can take a 20% pay cut.
Oh, so you're doing pay cuts?
No, we're doing restructuring.
How okay, calling it restructuring is a way of being euphemistic about it.
No,
but how are the players interpreting it and taking it?
They're okay. The players are okay. And we already have a team for 2022 season for the boys. I think
which surprises can you give our viewers at the moment that they will be seeing wearing a JKL jersey?
There are many players. Actually, we are rebuilding the boys team. We are rebuilding for BAL, so we are looking at a 3-year program. So most of the players are young. Okay, and then we have some experience.
Oh, you are rebuilding for BAL.
Yeah.
So that means JKL is going all out to win it, because you cannot go to BAL unless you're a champion.
We are rebuilding, so it's going to take a 3-year program. Okay, I said we are rebuilding for BAL, for 3 years. We are trying to do a 2 or 3-year program to rebuild, so that we are able to participate in BAL. We want to cut our expenditures slightly, okay, to align with the current market. Number 3 is we're going to recruit players that fit our profile.
What is that profile exactly? What is the JKL profile?
Our team is built on first skill, okay. Then we have when we recruit players, not everybody fits the system. There are those who love the club, okay, like come to you and I say, Felix, oh, some players come and call me like, you know what, we want to come to JKL. So like, what are your expectations?
Okay. And what do you tell them when they come and let's say such players and they ask for wanting to have a place in JKL?
No, they are free to come, train with this team, and the coaches will decide.
So it is open, they can come and then you evaluate?
Yes, they are free.
What criteria do you actually base on when doing that evaluation?
One of them is, it's not about the skill set. We normally sign players who go hard.
Heart. So attitude,
yes,
desire,
positivity.
That is what I believe when you say heart means attitude, desire, passion.
Yes. Okay. And players, you know, in the process of talking to them, we realize what do they want to be in the next few years. Okay.
Okay.
What are their structures? What are they planning? So those are some of the things we use when we are recruiting. But the boys we already have, I think we remain with one slot, two slots, I think 2 slots, which we are keeping for the boys team. For the girls, I can tell you,
JKL Lady Dolphin has been amazing. So I don't know if the trend is going to continue going on.
It is 2 years without players actively playing, so it's difficult to assess their fitness levels now. And you know, a winning club, you know, we won like for 2 years, we're going to the 3rd, 4th.
You won JKL Lady Dolphins won back to back.
Yeah, so originally the plan was normally if it's any successful team you can win 4 times with the same team.
Well, City World has been doing it for 7 years.
Because they keep adding new blood. Okay, as others leave, you keep adding. Okay, so then you start to keep adding. So I think if you've seen the way they have run, they won like for 3-4 years comfortably, and then they kept adding more younger players into the team and some experienced players, more younger players into the team and some experienced players. You can't keep the same old players.
So that is the same strategy that your ladies side is going to be taking on?
It is for both teams, both the boys and the ladies. And the ladies, we're going to have young and experienced. And I think the ladies, I have one player who I think is going to be amazing. I think we'll be in the national team in 2 years. I think. You have. I have high expectation of the kids. We have added so far 3 new players, fresh from high school. And you know, when they come to the league, they take 1 or 2 years to settle in.
Yeah, because I was just about to ask you that if they're fresh from high school, then the transition usually is not that simple.
Yeah, we have a program. You see, our program with the young players also different. There are so many things that take place behind the scenes that people don't know. The young players have a special training program. Okay, so which facilitates them to join the senior team. Okay, at earliest opportunity. We have a special program for the young players.
Because most of the fans, or even when you go to the comments and everything, they're like, when is JKL winning a title? Is this their year or not?
We have already won a title. Which title?
The men's team.
Oh, the men's team.
Yeah, that is.
I think last year we had a chance.
Those are the comments. Even when I posted and I mentioned to our viewers, our fans, that you would be our guest today. They were asking, when can you tell us when JKL will be able to win a title?
JKL is going to win a championship, okay? The men will win a championship.
Some of the views are that you have one of the best power forwards in the country in Brian Namake, and yet the team is still struggling. What is your view on that?
Prior to 2019 season, I think we had kept a team, a unit for a while. We actually needed like 3 players to take us to the next level, and that was the target. But you see, we tried to look for those players across the region. There were few that fitted the profile we wanted. Okay.
Why were you looking for players across the region? Couldn't you like look for talent or within the region?
You see, at that time, most of the best players within the region were already locked up in their clubs. Okay, so it's difficult to get the player from maybe City Oil. I think you understand. It's difficult to get a player from them, or it's difficult to go to APA. This Patriots in Rwanda. It's difficult. Okay, it's difficult to get a player from there. So we were looking. The scouts sent some videos, but as a TD, I don't believe in videos. Okay.
Oh, you believe in first looking at the player and assessing them yourself.
So I was supposed to travel. There was a player we were targeting in Zambia. They told us there was a big man. I was supposed to fly there to identify the player. And then things came around. I was supposed to travel to Nairobi to check on some players, and
that expense is quite something. We will get back into the discussion. We are with Frederick Freedoms, the proprietor and technical director of JKL Basketball Organization. My name is Felix Paul. We return after this short break.
According to you, do we have a financial problem in FUBA, or there's a certain underlying problem that we are not seeing that actually leads, to this financial issue?
I think I will not say there's a financial issue in FUBA, because I don't know what takes place there. I think I'll talk about on the side of like managing a team or something. Most of these teams don't have sponsors, and you see when you have a league or when you have a team, there must be strategy for sponsorship to come in. And I was talking to, I think, one of I think a company. Our league was kind of like long, and there's no mileage and stuff like that. But since media houses have been coming in, because for a corporate company to invest, they must have value for money. They must have that mileage. So I think the marketing department of the federation had to do that, like to to put the game out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game out there so that sponsors can come in.
Yeah.
But without that, we can't really get finances.
Yeah,
you also know that.
Yeah.
So where does it start? Basketball must get a home.
Yeah.
If we get a home, maybe like YMCA,
yeah.
the fans, then we do marketing. You guys are doing a great job of putting up basketball talk shows, because when we talk about this,
Yeah.
and maybe there's a corporate companies are following in,
Yeah.
We'll get brands coming in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this is going to be the problem. We have to market because the game is there.
Yeah.
The referees have improved. The coaches are there. But we have to put in the game out there so that
Yeah.
we can get sponsors.
It is never too late to start anything, that is for sure. You can start on anything and everything at any time. It is not yet, like, time is not lost, you can do it. Put God first, like Bernie said, put God first. Number two, me, I have a mentor, she's called Letitia, the one of KCCA. Like, she will call me to ask me, did you train? Like, get that one person that is going to do that for you, and I thank God for her. Yeah, get that one person that is going to do that for you. It can be your coach, it can be someone that has played the game.
Okay.
Bronnie is here and she's willing to do that for you. Please
Yeah.
reach out to her. Yeah, basically that is it. And also trusting yourself, it starts with you. If you feel like you can't do it, even when you try it, it's not going to move.
Yeah.
But when you feel like you can do it, with God helping you and having your mentor by your side and all that, you can surely make it.
A lot has been happening in the game of basketball. First of all, as Slam Dunk Basketball, we would like to first thank the Silverbacks for doing the nation proud and for making it to the first time in the quarterfinals of the Afro Basketball Championship down in Kigali. It was a tough task, and history was made when the Silverbacks, our boys, were able to beat on Nigeria. Welcome back. It is Slam Dunk Basketball Talk, and we are discussing basketball. And in studio, I'm with Frederick Freedom Owora, the proprietor and also technical director of JKL Basketball. We were just discussing the issues of JKL and what is going to be happening coming the new season that is just about to start. So, Freedom, there was and there is trouble in paradise. Before a few months back, Jeff announced that he was stepping down as president of the club. And he did not reveal much to the media. The only issue that he revealed was that it was an internal matter. Now, to the viewers of Slam Dunk Basketball Talk, may you please help them understand that situation.
I want to state that JT leaving the team, is going to left some hole okay? Last year, because we are good friends, okay? I can say we are very good friends. We meet, we talk, okay? But it was his decision, okay? We did not have any internal fights, okay? But it was his decision to leave the team, the senior team. So he wanted to start his own team, okay, which I think he has started. So we agreed that he will take over the junior teams, the JKL junior teams, which were in the lower division.
Okay.
The boys and then the girls. So I think that is what he is. He's a passionate guy. He loves basketball. I've met few people who love the game like him. I think he will bring something new. The team will bring something new to the league. Whenever there's a new team that comes up, you know, there's something new they bring. A little bit of organization is going to come with it. Okay. So, but there's nothing like any fight. I don't want to say people say there's any fight. Okay. I appreciate the time we spent with JKL. Okay. Yeah. So I think it was marred by COVID. You know, COVID came back to back, and I think I can understand his reasoning of the way he left the team. It's okay. Okay. But that does not mean that JKL is going down. I've recruited, I told you, 3 players. I've recruited for the senior team. We've been there before he came. Okay. I think we will still be okay, strong. As we speak now, I'm going to tell you, as part of our growth strategy, we've acquired like 5 acres of land outside Uganda. We were going to the far northwest Uganda. So we are going to put up an academy.
JKL is putting up another academy?
Yeah, we are going to put up another academy there, and we want to expand to other sports in future. So we're planning after we first want to monitor this first 10 years, which is 2024. We expect by next year to be self-sustaining. Okay, the club should be able to generate enough revenue with the plans we have put in place. We are setting up a new board. Okay, so soon we are still making we are still discussion with one more board member to have a strong board of 7. Okay, so we're planning this year to host our games, and we have written to the federation, and I hope they grant us the permission. They come and visit our home court. In that way, we can sell some drinks during game day. We can generate some money. We can get some money from branding the walls and whatever. The place, we will get some money. Okay.
Brand value, and then you are planning on, let's say, in simple terms, attracting more sponsors.
Yes, on board. But we're doing something. You know, we register JKL is a company limited by guarantee. Okay. We
explain that to the viewers.
Now, a company limited by guarantee means we're not for profit. Okay. However, with the coming of COVID, most NGOs, we got a 5-year license from the NGO board in 2019. Okay, so that expires in 2024. Okay, so we are running the NGO part. So this year we are focusing on climate change. Okay, so those are some of the themes that we are going to happen this year, and reducing poverty. And then we are also doing the business wing. So we are doing the social enterprise, kind of. So you will see us having a JKL shop. Okay.
JKL is going to be a different club in Ugandan basketball.
Yes, we are going to have a JKL shop. We are going to have merchandise being sold there, the jerseys, the balls, so many other things. And we are going to do international training. Okay.
International trading.
Yes.
Please further explain that to me. So that,
no,
because I'm also intrigued by, by knowing this.
We're going to do international trading. International trading, we do trading across borders, Europe, Africa, and everywhere.
So
that's the business wing.
This shop, where do you intend it to be? Because so many viewers are actually now they're eager to know much more.
So we are reorganizing we're going to have the shop will be there in Namaiba. We have an office space at our home clubhouse. We have an office space. We have stores. Okay. We have places where we have halls where we can keep the merchandise. So we're going to initially the first few months we're going to do an online shop. So wherever you want item you want, you order, and then we have people to deliver the items to you.
So online, that has been working for various organizations.
And then as towards the end of this year, by around August, September, we should be having at least a shop within the city, okay, where a store where someone and some staff working there, where somebody who wants an item from the other side can easily pick them from the
you can pick them physically without the online stuff. So organization-wise, you talked about JKL having their own AGM. When is that going to happen, and what is the structure?
We expect our AGM to be there before end of April. Okay, and then the new board will come into place. We will do the strategic plan, the 5 years. We are doing a 5-year strategic plan first, and then we plan the way forward. But by end of April, we'll be able to go to kick. We will be actually a step ahead. Now, this is phase 1 of our project. Phase 2 will start after 2024. Phase 2, we will convert the place into an arena, because the structures are there. We started the foundation of the place a few years back. Then we hit financial stuck somewhere. So that's going to be in phase 2. And the phase 2 that will take another 5 years for phase 2, and then in phase 3 is when we're going to have we're able to host other clubs. Okay, if for example a team here wants to host FIBA tournament, we plan to have some accommodation. Okay, a wing where the players can stay, they can come. We're going to build hostel kind of arrangement. Okay, if a team comes to play against us, they actually can come. Even the national team can.
So basically, a team can come over, reside. So JKL is actually going to have an opportunity whereby even FUBA can be able to host their games there, or other regional teams.
Yes.
That is what you're saying.
That's what we are planning. Okay. That's going to be in phase 3. Okay. But in phase 2, we will finish the arena. So we don't want to finish the arena and then we don't have accommodation. So we'll be missing money. Even the fans can come and watch a game and sleep over.
Oh, even me, I can come and in case it gets later.
Yes.
That's quite interesting.
Yes.
Quite
we still have we have accommodation, few places, few rooms right now there. So
I just hope they will not be too costly, so that which will scare some of the fans who would want to spend the night over.
No, they are not very costly. They are actually affordable. And then we have also camping tents. So at the place.
So the camping tents will be cheaper.
The camping tents may be expensive because you can't put it anywhere. The place is big. Our facility is actually big. So
okay.
Yeah. So,
please tell our viewers. Remember, we are live on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, on our website, Slam Dunk Basketball. We are with Frederick Owora, the technical director of JKL Basketball Organization. Please continue.
So we have camping tents. So if you want to go and play pickup or play tournament and you want to sleep over, you can sleep over. We have a kitchen. They can cook for you whatever food you want. Okay, you make the order. We have enough parking space, and we have even adjacent plots around where we plan to widen the parking. So the space-wise, we have.
Someone will be sure of their car being parked somewhere.
Yeah, so one day if you are from maybe Kokujero, that side, you can pass by Katosi Road and brush, take a drink, okay? If you are tired, you can order food they give you at the club. So
quite an investment that very many basketball teams actually should also be looking at in terms of sustainability and in terms of ensuring that they have a steady flow of income coming in, because that is how they will be able to run their teams.
We are planning to buy the game clock and whatever that will be used there. So I think the federation should not get worried that the equipment, because of hiring equipment. To host our games, we are having they're going to buy before the league begins.
The clock, the 24 hour.
We are going to have one at the venue. We in the next shipment we should be able to have it this month. We budgeted for February, so we should have the game clock and other stuff so we can host our games. Then we also plan to do there's a JKL tournament which has been long overdue.
I was meant to ask you when the date for the JKL tournament is meant to be, because we've had the KIU 3-on-3. There's another 3-on-3 that is actually happening. Now, the JKL tournament has been long overdue. I don't know if there are exact dates that you can give our viewers of when it will be and which format it will be in.
We are planning a simple tournament so that the players can get some fitness, some games behind their back, okay, before the season begins. So the manager is organizing that.
Okay.
Okay. But then we are planning the real JKL International Tournament. Now that's the big one.
JKL International Tournament.
That's the big one.
Please further elaborate
so the JKL International Tournament will take place between October and November, assuming the league is going to be after the end of the season. And we're trying to invite teams across, and we're putting a couple of dollars, a lot of dollars, thousands of dollars for the winning team.
If you don't mind mentioning them, because you're saying you have mentioned JKL International Tournament.
That is the
and inviting tournaments. I mean, beg my pardon, inviting teams from the region.
Yes, that is this year we should have season 1. It was supposed to be a year ago, but this year we should have season 1 of the JKL International Tournament. So we'll maybe do qualifiers here. Okay.
Oh, it will have a qualifier session.
We tend to put a lot of money so that the fans can enjoy.
Please tell our viewers. And
also we have teams across board, and the winning prize will keep increasing every year. Okay, so we expect like in 4 or 5 years across Africa, a team can fly from Cameroon or South Africa to come and play the JKL tournament, or from Kinshasa to come and play the JKL tournament.
Now, for the start, what is the incentive for a team taking part?
It will be around $2,000 for the beginning.
$2,000?
Yeah, for the beginning. But it may go beyond that. We want to put that to the board to decide the price. Okay? And then the partners that will come on board, we will be honest enough with them. Okay? Because If the money is for the players, it's supposed to really motivate them. They'll earn. It may be more than that. So we're looking for new partners. We're looking for a CEO for the NGO. Right now we are looking for a programs manager. Okay, but we require someone with some sports experience, because we tend to expand into other sports discipline after this one. This is supposed to be the model project.
This is the start.
Yes.
Of the JKL organization.
Yeah. So this is the model. We are using the basketball as a model sport project for the program, and then we plan either to do rugby or football, but then we'll start the academies, and that's why we are looking for more space. If we can get more space where we can have a bigger, put all the equipment, the facilities at once. Okay, so that's what we're planning. Okay, so I expect the fans to come this time in big numbers. Come and watch, support us. I believe if we spread the game across, like football, a team travels to Fort Portal, the other one is to Arua, another one Tororo. This will give basketball a wider platform. We can't keep having the games only in Kampala. Okay, and the federation also needs to understand our position, why we need to host the game. Okay, because that will encourage other teams to also invest.
Definitely, because when they look at what you have set up as a JKL organization, they will also want to emulate, and they will also come and ask you about it. It is Slam Dunk Basketball. We return after this short break. Felix Opal is my name, and in studio, our special guest is Freedom, or the technical director of JKL Basketball Organization.
is never too.
So, according to you, do we have a financial problem in FUBA, or there's a certain underlying problem that we are not seeing that actually leads, to this financial issue?
I think I will not say there's a financial issue in FUBA,
Yeah.
Because I don't know what takes place there. I think I'll talk about on the side of like managing a team or something.
Yeah.
Most of these teams don't have sponsors.
Yeah.
And you see, when you have a league or when you have a team,
yeah.
There must be strategy for sponsorship to come in.
Yeah.
And I was talking to, I think, one of I think a company. Our league was kind of like long, and there's no mileage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But since media houses have been coming in, because for a corporate company to invest, they must have value for money.
Yeah, that's true.
They must have that mileage.
Yeah.
So I think the marketing department of the federation had to do that, like to put the game out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game out there so that sponsors can come in.
Yeah.
But without that, we can't really get finances.
Yeah,
you also know that.
Yeah.
So where does it start? Basketball must get a home. If we get a home, maybe like YMCA.
Yeah.
The fans, then we do marketing. You guys are doing a great job of putting out basketball talk shows, because when we talk about this, and maybe there's a corporate companies are following in, we'll get brands coming in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this is going to be the problem. We have to market because the game is there.
Yeah.
The referees have improved. The coaches are there, but we have to put in the game out there so that we can get sponsors.
Welcome back to the final segment of Slam Dunk Basketball Talk. Felix Opal is my name, and in studio, like we have been discussing, I'm with Freedom, or the technical director of JKL Basketball Organization. The league is about to start. So many things have been right and wrong. What do you think, in your view, are the major things that the administration should first focus on 2022 season kicking off?
I think we need to have a clear plan. Okay, from the federation, they need to have a clear plan. We need to know how long the league is going to run. Okay, so that the clubs prepare both mentally and financially, and also they need to communicate the exact date in which the league is going to kick off, because that helps the teams in planning. Okay, it helps the teams in planning. We have not had an AGM for 2 years. Okay, we had one virtual, I think, last year. That's not an AGM. Okay, so the other thing is we need to have people who are in technical committee. People who actually
people need to meet physically and elaborate matters.
Yes.
The virtual one that you just mentioned, what transpired?
They were just promises. What promises? I can't even recall. I think I was traveling to Rukungiri for function. I just put on my headset, and someone can say I attended the function, but we need to have a policy in place. I don't even know who is auditing them, the federation, because some of the things need to...
the federation has a finance department. I guess that is their job to answer.
If you go to the federation and ask for a statement of account, and see if you will get. So the league is going to start. I know teams are prepared, the fans are prepared. So one of the things, first they need to communicate the guidelines. What do teams need to put in place before they play the league? Okay. Number two, they asked for the rules. You know, these rules are made by the managers.
Yeah, but the regulations usually changed.
Yeah, you see, the rules are made by the managers. But then sometimes, you know, why some people don't go to the AGM is because it reaches an extent where people dictate. You know what they want, what the top people want. They're not going to change.
Okay.
So they need to give teams the exact date when the league is beginning. Number two, let's have the protocols. What are teams require? Okay. What do teams need?
Requirements for every single team.
Okay.
To be able to participate
in the league.
Okay.
Okay. Then teams will start to plan. Okay. Then how long is the league going to run? Which are the venues?
The venue part is actually one which is very tricky up to the moment, because the venues keep on shifting. Now we have YMCA, Kansanga, UCU. So that is one issue I believe that should be very key when it comes to the AGM.
It is true, because
as a technical director of a team, I believe that is one of the things that should be discussed.
Yes,
how, because like you've been mentioning, and we've been having this discussion throughout the show, the venues have a cost implication to the team.
That is true to the teams, but you see, when we as managers, once we set to venture into the sport, we must have a budget. Okay, you can only know the budget, prepare the budget when I know games are either going to be YMCA. I would love to travel to Gulu, okay, to play an away game. Okay. Gulu has been coming to Kampala to play games. Yes. How many teams go to Gulu? Okay, and then there are fans there. So you do the budgeting. Oh, I'll travel to UCU, or I'll travel to KIU. But why are the fixtures being put at UCU and KIU only? That gives them favorable advantage.
Those are the issues that have to be discussed at the AGM and then have to be resolved, because so many teams are also having various complaints. Those are the matters that have to be broken down when it comes to the league starting, so that 2022 basketball league does not start when it is like that.
We wrote a letter beginning of 2020 when we finalized our court, requesting the federation to come and inspect our court, okay, premises, and we want to host our games from all the home games and all our playoff games. Okay.
And
because we had that in plan.
Did you get a response?
No response. They never came. Okay. Okay. So when you write a letter to the federation and they cannot communicate, there are so many instances where we've lost potential sponsors because we told the sponsor the game is at YMCA, and the last minute in the morning, maybe around 9 or 2 or in the evening, you receive an email at 10, game has been pushed to KIU or UCU. And how do you again communicate to the sponsor that, you know what, you see the federation, that's lack of what? Of organization. Let's have the venues, okay? If any club, Entebbe, I'm seeing Entebbe Ushers are hosting, okay? They're hosting, which is good. So the basketball fans in Entebbe can actually what? Enjoy. Okay? Even the fans in Kampala, there are people, some of them have never been to Entebbe, maybe. Okay,
yeah, they want to use that. Others might also just want to take the drive to travel to Entebbe and have basketball in a different field.
Rugby has been doing this. Pirates. I remember when they're shifting to Belgrade. They actually wanted us to have a court there, facility there, but I told them no, we already have a program which we are running like this. I passed there 2 weeks ago and I met one of the rugby fans. He was very passionate, telling us, why don't we put for them a rugby ground? Shadon is soon going to be closed. Okay?
Yeah, because
but
they're moving.
What I'm trying to tell you is when I went to Kings Park in Biograde, I saw more fans, more than 2,000 fans in the place, the facility. That is activity for that club. So that means the Pirates team can what? Generate revenue.
It's activity, and at the same time it creates employment. Various people selling different things and all that.
Unlike when they're still using legends. You get? So teams should be able to move their home ground. If Raise Life has a court, that I think around Lueza, we can go and play there. Okay? We can go to UCU and play UCU. Let UCU also come to our home ground. Let KIU also come to our home ground. We can go to any other team. Makerere has, okay, home ground. We can move there. DJ has home ground, Luero. Let's go to Luero and play. Let them also come.
But the main question with that would be, will the fans be able to actually travel those distances? Telling them to go to, let's say, Luero, telling them to go to Ndeje, telling them to go to a different venue.
I think fans will travel, and let's not say that fans won't travel. The fans will travel, then we will get new fans. Do you know there are so many kids who are in Luero, for example, if we go to Ndeje in Luero, who will want to come and watch the game? Okay?
Yeah, that is very that is very true.
Okay. Those are new fans. They'll get interested.
That's very true.
Okay? But if you see rugby, people travel to Jinja, people travel to Gulu, people travel to Masaka. Okay? Before we were only having few clubs in what? At Camp Legends and what?
Yeah, the seven circuit.
Yes.
People traveled all over for all the 7 circuits.
Kasese, people travel, and then you get new fans. So if you stop thinking, you know, this kind of, we are cutting, what expense are we cutting? We must invest, okay? And I applaud all the managers who are having teams, okay? For the efforts they are putting in. People are investing. Last year I didn't watch so many games, but I followed the lower division. I saw there was a lot of progress, okay? People are investing. There are new teams that have come up, okay? I'm seeing them, they're investing, okay? So what next? Let them also have, let's go to maybe Namongo and play, okay? The community there, those fans will come. If you go to Namaiba, we will organize a bus for them to come.